What's up? Hey, how are y'all doing this evening? All right, I see you coming on in the room. Jade Shadow Queen, good evening. How are you doing? Thanks for tapping in. Mr. Pseudo. Oh, okay, I see you. Welcome to my live. Just gonna get started here. Uh, Today, good to see you too. How have you been? See the baby growing, baby's getting big. Your family looks so happy and wonderful. All right, so let me just go ahead and jump on in and get started here. We will be talking about hidden costs of poor boundaries and how to fix them. Are you feeling drained? Are you feeling overwhelmed or unappreciated? If so, you might have a boundary problem. And today we're fixing that. We're going to fix it. Drop a hand up emoji in the chat if you've ever felt guilty saying no to someone, even when you knew you should have. Have you ever said yes when you should have said no? Well, in case you're new here, you're just joining me for the first time, I'm Alvena Willis. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, also known as the boundary. Oh, yeah, I see you. As the boundary architect. And I help people reclaim their time, energy, and peace by setting boundaries that actually work. Today, we're talking about the hidden cost of poor boundaries. And by the end of this session, you'll have practical strategies to protect your time, relationships, and mental health. So, first, we'll talk about the cost of poor boundaries. It's expensive, it's very expensive. So, let's get real. What happens when you don't have strong boundaries? Number one, you can experience emotional burnout. You feel drained, exhausted, and sometimes even resentful. You ever just been pissed off and upset with somebody and be like, I didn't spend all this time, all this money, all this energy, and now I'm frustrated, I'm upset, didn't even get done the other things that I really need to get done uh, because I was doing this instead. So, an example uh, is you're the go to person for everyone's problems, but no one checks on you. No one checks in on you. Um, you might be the expert at something. Taban, I know that you're in you're in the tech industry. Probably everybody comes to you for all their tech issues when they probably should call T-Mobile. Maybe they need to call Google for support. But they're like, oh no, let me call Taban. He knows he can help me with this app problem. Meanwhile, you have work to do. You might have a whole pile of work to do on your own business and projects, and feeling overwhelmed as is with that, uh, feeling the pressure of the workload you have. Yeah, I'll be paying attention. um, Matter of fact, I need to talk to you about that. I'll talk to you about some app stuff. Number two, loss of self-respect. Oh yeah, I forgot the second part of that, but no one checks on you. So you might be in need of support in some other areas, but no one's calling to say, hey, how can I help you out with this or that, Maybe you need a babysitter for date night, and they have a whole entire child care and room in it. We might need to do some trade. Um, that might be more balanced way or a more balanced approach. Number two, loss of self-respect. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you betray yourself. So that's the part where you gotta take some accountability for the situation. It's easy to go off and be upset with somebody else for wasting your time, but you the one that said yes. You the one who didn't nobody force you to do the labor. You chose to do it. So you be like, I wasted my time, and maybe they don't like the results of the work you did, or they're unappreciative, or whatever the case might be. Or it's just an overworked situation where you really just should have said no, regardless. So an example is you agree to help a friend move on your only day off, even though you need rest. Been working hard for the money, been working all week long, taking care of your family and yourself, and just really pouring all of that investment into the things that you have. And, you need to rest on that seventh day. I grew up Seventh Day Adventist, and um, it's biblical. You need to rest sometimes. You have to allow yourself rest. Sure, you want to show up for your friends and your family and be a support. And you got big, strong muscles, and they need your help. They need your help. They got to move this weekend, or how else they gonna do it without your help? Um, so you end up doing it and getting a back injury, or just not getting the rest that you need in general. So the next week, you're exhausted and overwhelmed. You're frustrated. You're short. Maybe you should get short tempered. You end up burned out because you didn't take the rest. You didn't get the massage. You didn't do the hot bath. You didn't do the ice. You didn't stretch and do yoga, or take that walk along the beach, or whatever relaxing things that you like to do on your time off, or just spend time with family or by yourself, whatever the case might be. Instead, you were lifting heavy or small or items, laboring when you should be resting. Everything needs rest. Even the fields need rest after it has cultivated all of the grains and fruits and vegetables that we need for sustenance. That soil needs to replenish nutrients somehow. So farmers know they have to rotate their crops and let some of the fields rest so that the nutrients can replenish before you seek to yield a harvest again with that. So rest is very important. It is productive. I like to teach my clients that rest is productive. It is like, if you do fitness, you know that, or you may know that uh, your muscles need that time to recover in order to grow properly as well. Otherwise, you start burning up your muscles and ripping them up in the wrong way, and doing yourself the opposite of justice, because now it's an injury. It's not, you need to create that injury in order for it to grow, but also the recovery process is just as important as the fitness routine, the lifting and running and so forth. You have to also take your supplements and replenish your body with all of the proper nutrients in order for it to grow. Um, Number three, attracting. Hi, Cat Lady Productions. Welcome to my live. We're talking about boundaries, the cost of not having them. So, number three, Attracting the wrong people. Boundary violators love people pleasers. They can spot them from a mile away. They can smell them. It's yeah, it's wild. And the testing starts from the very beginning. I think from the very first sentence. They might be asking you for something as soon as they see you. Don't even know your name yet. Um, I have some examples of that for today, but you know, seems like folks think everybody needs to be helpful all the time. Maybe I don't want to be helpful right now. Example: toxic relationships where you always give more than you receive. So you just have to really, I wouldn't say you need to keep a ledger or anything like that when it comes to who's doing this or who's doing that, but also recognize when you're doing more or uh, chasing or making all of the plans, reaching out, texting, calling, and there's no reciprocation or very little reciprocation. Um, or you show up for their events and the things that they need or ask you to be at, but they don't come to yours. Huh? You at their house all the time, but they never at yours, or vice versa. You got to check in with your feelings and um, what's going on there. If you stopped calling, would you ever hear from them again? Things like that. So, toxic relationships where you always give more than you receive, that is a hidden cost. Um, if any of this sounds familiar, type "that's me" in the comments. Have you ever found yourself giving and doing more for somebody to be in your life? Yeah. So now we're going to go to the solution: how to set boundaries without feeling guilty. Um, I think that's a really a one to be aware of and to understand, because it can keep you from setting a boundary. After you do it, you can feel really, really down in the dumps, sad, guilty, depressed, shamed, especially if the person you set them with feel like, how dare you say no to me, uh, you know, when I wanted or needed this or that because I did X, Y, and Z and so forth, or they go telling the whole community or the whole tribe that you didn't show up for them in this way and that way because whatever their position and role in your life, you have to do this. You got to, or else you hurt their feelings. That can feel pretty uncomfortable. So I may have two solutions for that. Let's fix this. Here's a 3-step method you can start using today to strengthen your boundaries. Number one, recognize the discomfort. Sometimes we try to keep going and just ignore the emotions that come up and be like, oh, well, and it doesn't always work that well. If a request makes you feel tense, anxious, or annoyed, that's a sign you don't want to do it. Now, oftentimes we'll be like, well, it's a shame if I don't do it, or it's my obligation, it's my duty to do this. If I don't do this, then I'm not good. I'm bad. Multitasking over here and listening. Very good. Very good. Yeah, do what you got to do. So your body will tell you before your mind catches up. Pay attention to that reaction. We can have a tendency to be more in touch with our external world and getting things done, multitasking, uh, taking care of this and taking care of that because, you might feel that your value is wrapped up in how much work you can do and how well you can provide and protect. Um, Very important things, but you got to check in with yourself. I think it's important to check in with yourself first thing every single day. Make it a habit. That's why we need to do things like breath work and journaling and asking yourself how you feel and what you need right now throughout the day. Scan your body. How's your chest feel? Are you feeling tightness here? Is your throat kind of locking up on you? What's going on? Your shoulder, your jaw, it's tight. What's going on in there? What are you experiencing? Name your emotions. Um, Sometimes we don't know how to do that due to childhood trauma or just, family was on survival mode. You've been on survival mode. You just got to keep going. At least it feels that way. So it's important to figure that out. So you can get something like this. This is a emotion wheel. Found it on Amazon. Thought it was pretty cool. Looked like a scroll. You can get it. You just print it out. You can look it up on Google, piece of paper. They have rugs. They have pillows. You can create your own. You can draw pictures of your emotions to, you know, just get in touch with them. Figure out what they are, how they feel, name them, get deeper. Um, a link? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I do have some things for you here coming up. I have some goodies at the end of this for you. Um, so, yeah, your body will tell you before your mind catches up. Pay attention to your reaction. Don't just stuff it down. I mean, I'm going to say, especially men and society has taught you, the emotions are weakness, and some of our cultures as well teach us that. Our family cultures will teach us that. Hi, Alana. Thanks for joining. We are talking about the cost of poor boundaries. We are at number 2 for the solutions, how to set boundaries without feeling guilty. This comes up all the time. So, number 2, you want to use the no but formula. Saying no doesn't mean being rude. So, a lot of times we have a difficulty saying no because we don't want to be rude. You want to hurt anybody's feelings, and that's understandable. You usually the folks who are asking you for things, you care about them in some way. Um, just a caring person. But you can say no without being rude. So you can say no, but which kind of helps soften the blow for you who's saying it and for those who are receiving it as well. Here's how you can say it with confidence. I can't commit to that, but I'd love to help in a different way. How does that feel? Come in, say it out loud with me. You can say this at home or wherever you're at work, in the car, wherever you're listening from. I can't commit to that, but I'd love to help in a different way. That won't work for me, but thanks for thinking of me. They even can feel good about that when you're walking away or they're walking away after you're saying no. You can say, I'm prioritizing my time right now, so I'll have to pass. Uh, that also might help them to learn how to have boundaries as well, because sometimes it's hard for them to hear it and they might have a negative reaction because they're not used to people setting boundaries or setting them themselves as well. They may have grown up in a culture where it's like that as well. You got to show up for people, right? You have to. Which one of these, which one do you need to use today? Drop a light bulb emoji. which boundary do you need to set today? Which one of those statements works for you um, when you're thinking about a sensation that's coming up for you? For those who just joined, we're saying like the first warning signs are when you're asked, is a feeling coming up in your body? Feeling drained, exhausted, resentful, um, oh, feeling tense, anxious, or annoyed. Those are the things you need to pay attention to in your body. Um, so, number three, stick to your boundary without over explaining. You know, it could feel like, well, maybe if I tell them more about why I can't do it right now, maybe if I explain to them the whole background of the story, maybe that will help them to understand better and not be upset because you're feeling uncomfortable with their reaction or what you think their reaction might be, um, and wanting to fix it. You want to fix it right now. But here's the truth: people respect confidence more than explanations. The shorter, the better. You know, because it could take a lot of energy to do all the explaining as well when you need to be focused on what you need to do. You need to be focused in, um, point blank, point blank, period. So, example, instead of, I can't because I have so much going on and I feel bad, just say, that won't work for me, period. It's not going to work. Drop a two hands up emoji if you're committing to stronger boundaries this week. Yeah, over explaining just puts you in a deeper hole and feeling like you're trying to beg them to be okay with your boundary. Don't do that. Don't do it. You know, it's trying to coddle and hold um the other person or group um or community, uh and feeling bad for something you really don't need to feel bad about. Puts you in a negative space that zaps your energy anyway. So you end up with your energy zapped anyways. But sometimes that could last for a really long time. That guilt and shame is a low vibe. You don't need it. You don't deserve it. It's not necessary. They don't have to understand. Some people are committed to not understanding anyways. They have their own places that they're coming from, their own systems of understanding and perspective, and you might make it worse by trying to explain. They might be very much so committed, even more so because you're trying to explain it away. I mean, sure, there's times when you might want to give a little bit of information, but for the most part, cut it out. Now that you've got these strategies, I want you to take action. This week, set one firm boundary. No guilt, no over explaining. And if you need help implementing this in your life, DM me the word boundaries. So Taban, if you want to reach out, remind me with a quick message in the DM so I can send you over that information. Also, if you want a free boundary script guide, you can also reach out to me. There's a link in my bio. I need to put together another link, but there's a link in there if you would like to chat with me. Um, but yeah, you can DM me as well. Grab it now so you never feel stuck again when saying no. You can print it out, you can save it in your Google Docs, you can practice it in a mirror, practice it with a friend or a partner, teach your kids so that they get in the habit. Um, you know, they need to also learn from a young age. Make it part of your culture, of your family. It's very, very vital. It's one of those things, if you learn it now, it's invaluable. It'll save you time, money, energy, illness, um, all kinds of things. Thousands of dollars, really. It's, that's something to know. Yeah. Um, Also, if you want a free boundary script, um, go ahead and reach out and I'll send it over. If you have any questions, go ahead and put that in the chat right now. Any comments? I'll be happy to answer those for you here live. And remember, you can always DM me boundaries for coaching. We can continue this conversation. Remember, your boundaries can save your life. The cost can really be your life. You got to say no. Keep, keep all of your goals, your missions, your values, your perspectives, your standards in mind, so that you can make decisions quickly and with power and with strength, and that can protect you. And just it could literally save your life, literally save your life. So don't be too caught up on um, how the other person's going to feel about it. Think about your own feelings. Have concerns with you. Prioritize you. All right. That's all I have for you today. I see you. I will go ahead and reach out to you with that information. I'll send it over for you. And yeah, join me here next week. We'll be here every week around 7 o'clock on Thursdays. And we'll talk about more tips and strategies. You can send over things that you would like to hear me talk about as well. I would be down to address any questions. We can do some different topics in the live. Thanks for joining me. See y'all next time. Have a great rest of your weekend.